Hey everyone, this is Natalia here. I just wanted to give a quick thought. Thanks for so much for tuning in to Restored Purity. I'm glad that you guys have are tuning in and watching. I do pray that these videos bless you and that you are found walking faithfully in this journey of purity and as a believer. One thing that I just wanted to leave with us tonight is this. I've heard countless people and countless believers say and advertise that this thing of abstaining from sex outside of marriage is almost nearly something that is utterly impossible. That is something that is so difficult and challenging and all of the above. But what I want to ask you is this: who told you that abstaining from sex before marriage was something that is so difficult and almost impossible to accomplish? Who told you that? It reminds me of the story when Eve was in the garden, and after she had bitten from the fruit, after the enemy had come and he persuaded her to go away from what God had declared in the beginning of time when he created Adam. And he told him not to eat from a specific tree, how he could enjoy all of the things that God had placed in a garden for his enjoyment. But from that one tree, God said, you should not eat of it. And so the enemy, he came, and all of the things that was offered to Adam and to his wife, they were able to enjoy them. But he came and he focused on that one thing that they had to abstain from taking part in. And he tricked Eve into believing that she was missing out on something. Although God had given them such a vast garden and such a vast variety of them to choose from that one tree, he made her believe that she was missing out on something. And what I want to ask you tonight is, who told you that living a life as a believer is something that is impossible? Who told you that abstaining from sex before marriage is so difficult? Who told you that it is nearly impossible for you to keep your mind fixed on things that are lovely and that are of good reports? Who told you that it's impossible for a believer to commit their bodies to God and to wait for marriage if that day were to come? Who told you, and why did you believe the lie that the world gives out, that we are able to express our sexuality in whatever way that we want, whether it be with a woman with a woman, a man with a man? Why do you believe that God would give you all of these things and he would put something that is so hard and difficult on you that you would lose even your very position in God, because he put something on you that is so difficult to accomplish that we fall to it and we falter to it, and every time and we do it, we believe that it's something that just comes natural. We believe that sex is just something that was God given, and so it's not that big of a deal when we engage in it prior to marriage as a believer. I'm talking to the believers because the believers are the ones who are called to be different, who are called to be set apart, who are called to walk according to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Who told you that abstaining from sex before marriage was such a difficult task to accomplish, and why did you believe the lie? I want to ask you that tonight. Why did you eat that fruit, and why did you believe the lie that what God is asking and what God is requiring from us is such a difficult thing to do? Who told you, and why did you believe it? I'm not saying that being a believer and the things that God has called us to do is something that's just light, it's something that's just so easy, and it's something that it never has its challenges. But I want to let you know that it is not an impossible task to please God. It is not an impossible task to keep your body pure before the Lord. It is not an impossible task to commit this area of sexual purity to him, to not only commit to it, but on a daily basis honor him in it. And it is just that we make a daily choice to honor God with our bodies. But I want to ask you again, who told you that it was impossible? Who told you that by the time you get to a certain age, if you haven't had sex, then at this point you might as well just engage in it because you're getting really old? Who told you that? And why did you believe it? When God has given us such amazing things to experience in this life, why is it that this thing of sex that God tells us to hold off for marriage? Because it's something that yokes two people together, and it's something that a sin that is committed against the body, that all other sins are not committed against the body except for this one of sex and sexual immorality. Why is it so appealing to us that we believe that it is impossible to accomplish to honor God with our bodies? Who told you that this was an impossible task? I want you to answer that for yourself tonight. There's a lie going about, and there's a lie in the Christian arena, that this thing of sexual purity, of sexual integrity, is something that is darn near impossible. And I want to tell you that that is a lie. That God has given us power, and if he gave us the power to raise the dead, if he gave us the power to heal the sick, if he gave us the power to speak to a situation and it be removed, if he gave us the power to do all those things, why do we believe that he hasn't given us the power to stay pure for him, out of a love for him and obedience to the word of God? I want to leave you with that question. Who told you that it was impossible? Who told you that it is one of the most difficult things in the world to do? Who told you that you were missing out on something by following the word of God? I love you guys. I'm praying for you. Let that rest and sit in your minds and settle, and then you come up with the answer to that question. But who told you that it's impossible? Because there is nothing that is impossible for God. And I guarantee you that everything that we do for Christ, not only will it last, but it has great rewards. I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. And I hope that you're praying for me. I will see you in our next lesson for restored purity. Have an amazing night.